They called her the people's princess, but behind palace walls she was something far more dangerous. A woman who felt too deeply, loved too freely, and refused to be quiet. She was the royal who was not born royal. She was the mother who kissed wounds the crown couldn't heal. And maybe, just maybe, she was the woman they couldn't control, so they erased her. This is the tragic love story of Princess Diana, not the fairy tale, but the haunting truth.
Do you think you'll ever be queen?
No, I don't. No.
Born Diana Frances Spencer in 1961, she came into the world with blue blood but a broken home. Her parents' marriage was cold and crumbling. Her mother left when Diana was just a child, a wound she carried for the rest of her life. From a young age, Diana was searching not for fame, but for affection, for someone to stay. She was shy, soft-spoken, almost invincible in a world that favored heirs and titles. But there was a light in her, a quiet kind of magic. She had the soul of a nurturer, a heart far too tender for the world she was born into. At just 19, Diana was plucked from obscurity and thrust into a royal engagement with Prince Charles, a man 12 years her senior, but Charles' heart was never hers. It belonged to Camilla Parker Bowles. Even on the day of his wedding, the ring fit, the gown sparkled, the crowds cheered, but Diana knew she wasn't chosen for love, but she was chosen for duty, for bloodline, for an image, and still she tried.
Well, if you knew how I used to behave.
But did you know what you were taking on in that kind of sense? Not being able to just walk down the street?
No, I didn't.
She gave him 2 sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, poured herself into motherhood and smiled through the pain. But behind closed doors, her world was crumbling. Prince Charles was emotionally absent. The palace was colder than any castle should be, and she, Diana, began to unravel. She battled bulimia, loneliness, and a deep sense of being watched, not just by the press, but by something darker, the firm, the institution, the unspoken power behind the royal throne. The princess who broke the mold. Diana was not the delicate flower they expected. She became a rebel in pearls. She walked through landmines, held AIDS patients no one else would. She made the monarchy human, and that made her dangerous. She didn't play the quiet wife. She exposed the affair. She told the world she was suffering, and still they expected her to smile. Her infamous 1995 BBC Panorama interview was the final nail. There were 3 of us in the marriage, she said, so it was a bit crowded.
Do you think Mrs. Parker Bowles was a factor in the breakdown of your marriage?
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
That night, the palace walls shook. She was no longer a royal wife. She was an icon and a threat. The love that might have cost her everything. After her divorce in 1996, Diana began to reclaim herself, and in doing so, she fell in love again with Egyptian film producer Dodi Fayed, the son of billionaire Mohammed Al Fayed. A new man, a new culture, a different kind of love, one the royal family could never control. Photos of Diana and Dodi kissing on a yacht flooded the tabloids. Rumors swirled that they were about to marry, that she might convert to Islam. She was becoming global, untouchable, and for some, unacceptable. Always watched and never protected, Diana often spoke about being watched, about her phone being tapped, about the cameras that followed her. Even in the dark, she said the monarchy wasn't just cold, it was dangerous. In 1995, she wrote in a letter that she feared someone was planning an accident in my car, brake failure, and a serious head injury. 2 years later, she was found dead.
I don't think many people would want me to be queen. Actually, when I say many people, I mean the establishment that I'm married into, because they've decided that I'm a non-starter.
Why do you think they've decided that?
Because I do things differently. Because I don't go by a rule book. Because I lead from the heart, not the head. And albeit that's got me into trouble in my work, I understand that.
The death that still doesn't make sense. On August 31st, 1997, Princess Diana and Dodi Fayed died in a high-speed crash inside the Pont d'Almer tunnel in Paris. Paparazzis were blamed, so was the driver, but the pieces never added up. Why were they not wearing seatbelts? Why did it take over an hour for Diana to reach the hospital that was just minutes away? Why were traffic cameras in the tunnel mysteriously shut off that night? Many believed it was a tragic accident. Others see something more, a woman too loved, too powerful, and too free. Hence, she was silenced. Legacy of a haunted heart. Princess Diana wasn't just a princess. She was a mirror, a warning, a flame. She didn't die because she was weak. She died because her love made the powerful uncomfortable. And the world still mourns her, not just for who she was, but for who she could have been if they had just let her live.
Good cook, by the way.
I have done cooking course, yes. I don't think I'm average, but you haven't tasted anything because I won't let you.
Thank you guys for watching this video. Please do subscribe, do leave a comment in the comment section, do like this video, and do share. Please give your honest opinion about what you think about this tragic story. Please subscribe and stay tuned to more Hollywood and more world tragic stories of beautiful women and beautiful people who are meant to suffer. Thank you.
I'd like to be a queen of people's hearts, in people's hearts.